Good morning, everyone. Hope everyone is able to get on this morning. Oh, there we are. Good morning. There's a few people. Just gonna wait for a few others to get on. There we go. Make sure my sound is on. All right, good morning, everyone. I hope everyone is having a good morning. This morning, my boyfriend was teaching me how to make an omelet because for some odd reason, like if someone asks me, do you want an omelet or do you want eggs? And I will always say an omelet. I don't know. I guess I just like the folded eggs better. So yeah, for some reason I was just like, and he was like, why don't I teach you how to make it since you love omelets so much? And I was like, okay. I accidentally flipped the omelet terribly, so just became scrambled eggs, kind of. So yeah, it was just kind of like a little, I tried. He's very good at cooking though, so I'm sure I was the worst person to cook with. Yeah, I feel bad for him sometimes. All right, we're just gonna let everyone clock in. Don't forget to clock in your first name, last name, school, and time. And also for this class, you're either gonna need like a pencil and paper because you might be erasing a lot. I would grab like a bigger eraser. We're just going to go over cover letters. So if you would like to follow along with me and do the cover letter with me, so that way you already have it done. Easy. So if you just want to follow along and kind of like make your own while I'm making mine, I'm sorry, my kitties are meowing this morning. If you want to go over and make yours while I show you mine, like that is totally okay, and I'll better prepare you for the future. Victoria Pierce said, for years I kept ordering sunny side up when I actually wanted over easy because I didn't realize there were different. Yes! Oh my gosh, I remember my dad would like create all these, like you'd be like, do you want it sunny side up or this way or this way? And I would always say, I want them scrambled. I want them scrambled. And I didn't realize that there was a difference between scrambled, sunny side up. Like I only knew scrambled. So, oh my gosh, yes, I did not know there was a difference between like over easy, sunny side up. Like my dad was just like, you want eggs? And I was like, yeah. We used to like just create on Sunday mornings. We just create like this huge breakfast, like everything you could imagine with breakfast. So yeah, it's fun, you know, biscuits, eggs, toast. Sometimes my mom will make waffles with fresh berries, like just a huge breakfast. We would invite everyone over, anyone within like a 20-mile radius of us. We'd invite every single family member over and just have a big old, I would say brunch more, but it was fun. It's always fun. It's always fun to get together and have a huge meal. I was reading this article that was saying that like food is a great reason to get together. That is a huge reason for coming together and talking and being able to catch up. So I loved that. I was like, I didn't really think of food like that. I just thought food is nourishment, but you know, using food to catch up with people is awesome. So yeah. So, okay, while everyone is still getting ready, I'm going to give y'all like a few more minutes for clock in. Make sure that you have a pencil and paper. If you want to, you can type your cover letter. This live is just participation. So if you have any questions, if you have any great tips, I know a lot of you yesterday had some awesome tips. I loved y'all's tips. So today's just participation. So just make sure that you're, commenting, giving tips, asking questions. If you don't have any questions, that's totally okay. Just give some tips, help some people out, if you've ever been in a job interview, which I know a lot of you have. Yes, and be sure to take notes as well, because a cover letter is actually important. So let's get started since it is 10:05. For those of you who just joined in, just grab a pencil and some paper and we will get started. Just to let y'all know, to give y'all a little funny fact, I did not want to do the cover letter like over me or anyone because like I was scared of any information out. So I created the cover letter for my cat. So we'll see. They're meowing because they know. So I made it for Jade Kitty. Please don't laugh. I'm going to try not to laugh because there's a ton of cat puns in here. I'm sorry. Just to wake y'all up this morning. So Jade Kitty, as you can tell in this cover letter, it's short, sweet, to the point. Don't worry, I'll read it to y'all. I know y'all can't see this well. This is just kind of like the format. Right here is letter format. So it says, Dear Miss Claus, because that's the owner of the salon. And it says, Sincerely, Jade Kitty. You know, it's a cover letter. So letter part. Here we have all of our information right here, Jade Kitty's information. And then we have the date right here. And then we have the salon and its address. The reason why I was kind of thinking to myself, why do we need the salon's address? What person, like, why do we need the salon's address? And I was like thinking about it. I was like, there's 4 different maximum FX. There's a ton of different maximum FX. There's a ton of different. So if you just put maximum FX up here, it didn't have the actual one you were trying to apply for, like BK or whatever, you could be applying to the wrong one. So, oh, thank you for the kitty ones. Yes, you're gonna get a kick out of this. So the reason why I did this, Jade Kitty, I did her name bold, and my cat's last name is not Kitty, but you know, whatever. Her name is Jade. But so Jade Kitty. So I did her name bold, so that way that's the first thing they're going to see. Whenever your eyes look at this, the first thing you're going to see is Jade Kitty. Even if you want to make that name much bigger, it's bolded, you can. Now, another thing about this, make sure that they can read it. I know you guys can't read it that well. It's totally okay. I'm going to go over it with you guys. You know, make sure that you can read it really well. Don't do any fancy fonts. Very simple. I know some of you can see the blue right here and here. That's just the email addresses. If you would like to keep them blue, you can. I would suggest making them all one color, make it uniform, because the blue catches our attention more than the name. So I would just keep it uniform. But like I said, name bolded, so that way they know this is going to be on top of your regular resume. So Jade Kitty, super, super big. Boom. That's her name right there. Then underneath, we have all of our information. Now let's look at all of our information. Please don't laugh. Okay, so Jade Kitty, her address is 123 Whiskers Drive in Whiskertown, Texas, 12345. That is her address. The way you want to do the addresses is you want, if it's all on a horizontal line like this, you can just put it all in one. But if not, you're going to put the address. Then on another line, you're going to put the town, state, and zip code. So that is where she lives. Where she lives. She lives on Whiskers Drive in Whiskertown, Texas. Okay, and a good phone number, 1-2-3-4-5-6-7-8-9-0. You know, so as you can tell, we have a valid phone number, a good address. Just make sure that, oh, there's no such thing as Whiskertown. I just created it. I'm sorry. I don't even know if there's a Whiskertown, Texas. But anyways, so as you can see, we have a valid address. I would do personally, if you're a person who likes to move around a lot, from apartment to apartment to apartment, you don't really have a stable address, I would put the most stable address you have. So me personally, I would put my parents' address just because that's the most stable address we have. And any mail that goes there, they can easily just call me and tell me what it is. So that's what I would do, just in case if you're one of those people that move around a lot. So we have a valid email address. Now look at this email address. It says jade.kitty@gmail.com. It's a business email, guys. So, you know, have your name, because remember, email is the first way they're going to communicate with you. They're not going to text you, hey girl, yeah, we want to interview you. No, they want to make sure that you, they're going to email you. That's going to be your first line of communication with your new, maybe future employer. So make sure that your email is very, very, very professional. If you don't have a professional email, if it's butterflyglitter@gmail.com, make sure that you actually have a good business email. Gmails are free to make, so you can just make a new one and have it just be a business email. Yeah, they said please make sure to include your name in the email. Yes, because think about it. Think if you were in your employer's shoes. Okay, I'm about to email Jade Kitty. Oh, wonder what her email is. Oh, let me just type in Jade Kitty real quick. Oh, perfect. Boom. You know, instead of glitter, whatever, I don't even know, unicorn glitter. So that way, you know, they don't have to go back and look through your paperwork to find your email. They can just easily Jade Kitty. Boom, done. Now here below my information, I have IG, and that is my Instagram. It's just Jade_Kitty. And no, my cat does not have an Instagram. Just to give it a little, she does not. This is fake. So her Instagram is Jade_Kitty. You know, that could be her real Instagram. I would personally create another Instagram for your hair Instagram. For your, what they also call hair Instagrams are portfolios. A portfolio is just a combination, of all your work. So it's like having a, Brenna, now you might have to make her one. No, her brother would get jealous. So a portfolio is a folder of all of your work. So instead of just bringing in, you know, a folder of pictures of after photos, they can just look on your Instagram and that could be your portfolio. So it's always good to have a hair Instagram, or, I mean, I would choose Instagram because that's the most professional. Instagram or Facebook. I would not have a hair Snapchat or a hair Twitter. Honestly, I would have a hair Instagram or a hair Facebook. So put your Instagram or Facebook and make sure that you are just using it for hair, that is a business professional Instagram or Facebook. I would honestly have stuff detached. So I would have a personal and a hair one, just for references. You could do hair by so-and-so. I mean, Jade could have done Jade_Kitty does hair, you know, anything cutesy, it's okay. Just make sure to have a portfolio because that's very, very important. So that all this information is right underneath here, underneath Jade Kitty's name. So it's right underneath here. It's beautifully spaced out so that way you can tell, okay, this is the end of her address and the beginning of her phone number. So make sure that they can tell if it's spaced out. If you have a cutesy little symbol that you want to separate each one, you can. So yeah, this is what a true cover letter looks like. Okay, so now we're going to talk about what's right here in this little spot on our cover letter. Now, cover letters can have a ton of different formats. So if you're just like, I don't feel this format for me, there are a ton of different formats for cover letters. This is just one I like because it's very business professional. It's very clean. I like clean cut, some of you might call this dry. I call it business professional. So that's what I like. Okay, so just to let you know, and this part right here, this is what we're going to blow out on another piece of paper. So you're going to have the date, which is, I just put today's date. You're going to have the salon name right here, Beautiful Whiskers Salon. You're going to have the address. Remember, just like I said, if you're not completely horizontal, you're going to do the address like this. So you're going to have the salon name, 456 Tuna Road. Then you're going to go with the town. So you're going to have the address, then the town, Whiskertown, Texas, 12345. Then you're going to have the phone number. You know, I just put a random phone number, 098. I just put 12345 backwards. So yeah. So this is this is the salon's info. Like I said, the reason why we put the salon's address is because there could be 10 different beautiful whiskers salons. There could be a lot of different ones. So you want to make sure that you're putting the address. There could be one in, Austin. There could be one, I don't know, there's not one, but, and now that you remember her address was in Whiskertown, Texas, and Beautiful Whiskers is in Whiskertown, Texas. So, Ava said yesterday, we said we don't do cover letters anymore. Is it optional when going to an interview? Very, very good question. I'm going to put this down. So, Ava, with a cover letters are really, really you do not have to have them. No, you do not. But they're good for if your resume does not have a lot of job interviews. A lot of jobs. So let's say you only have one job in your life and it didn't end well whenever you left. Another thing about a resume, do not put a job on there that did not end well, because they might call that reference and they might say, oh no, so-and-so is a terrible employee. So the cover letter is just kind of a little bit more padding on your resume. It is for if you don't have a lot of job experience, if you don't, it's kind of like a little miniature interview to kind of let them get to know you a little bit better before the resume, because the resume is just boom, 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 boom. No, so the cover letter does not have anyone's info. It is just kind of like a little miniature interview of you. It's kind of like a little few paragraphs getting to know you. So we'll go over what's in my cover letter. So that way, no confusion, but just to let you know, you do not have to have one. So, okay, so back on to what we were back on. So here is the address, here's the phone number for this fake. Amber said, for the cover letter for the salon, do we make it up? No, you do not make this up. So this, if you're going to do a real one right now and you're going to make one with me, right now you can just leave it blank, or you can just write in salon name, salon address, phone number, emails. I would not make a fake one. I would make a real one just in case you need it with me. So then we have our email right here, the email of the owner. The owner's name is tiffany.claus@gmail.com. You can see here's another example of another business professional Gmail. So that is very important. So there we are. I'm just going to let y'all see that a little bit better. This is the blown up portion of this right here. Right there. So, and Alicia said cover letter is good because it's an introduction of who you are. Yes, you can put some information in there that they wouldn't know on the they would not know on your resume. You can't tell them that clientele in your eyes are number one. So let's go into this. So right now we have letter format. So right here is Dear Miss Claus. Then we have Sincerely Jade Kitty. So I'm going to read y'all what I have, and then I will go and get my whiteboard and we'll kind of go over each of the little parts. So Serena is right. They all are taking notes. If you want to create one with me, you can. That's why I said get some pencil and paper. You are not turning anything in for this live, like I said in before this. It's just participation. So I have Dear Miss Claus. I know what a huge opportunity it would be to work at Beautiful Whiskers Salon. Remember, you haven't gotten the job yet. So that is our first sentence. If I am selected as your next stylist, I can promise you and your clientele will be very impressed by my hair artistry skills and dedication to customer satisfaction. Now, let's say if you're a nail tech or esthetician, you can easily just reword that. I can promise you and your clientele will be impressed by my knowledge of skincare, by my artistry in nails, and dedication to customer satisfaction. So that is our first paragraph. I'm going to go get the whiteboard real quick so I can write that down and we can kind of go over that a little bit. 1 second. Okay, guys, we are not turning anything in, okay? You are not turning anything in. What you're doing is you're just taking notes, and if you would like to, you can use this lesson to make one for yourself because some of you are really close to graduating. So you are not turning anything in, it's participation. Okay, so we have Dear Miss Claus. Make sure, it's very, very important to kind of do some background information. A lot of ladies and women, make sure that you know if it's the difference between MS, MRS, and MISS. So make sure that you know the difference. Make sure you're calling them by the appropriate name. So Dear Miss Claus, comma, that is how you start a letter. You do not write anything over here. You have a space and you start right here. So Dear Miss Claus is your first part. Okay. I know what a huge opportunity it would be to work at Beautiful Whisker Salon. So Beautiful Whisker Salon is the salon I want to work at. So, sorry, I gotta write this real quick. So this is going to have kind of how it's going to look. I know what a huge opportunity it would be to work at Beautiful Whisker Salon. So make sure that you, on the formatting, that it is underneath. Make sure that you have correct grammar. That is huge. And make sure that you have everything capitalized. So Beautiful Whisker Salon, if it's, make sure that you copy whatever their name is. So if, you know, let's say Beautiful Whisker Salon does not capitalize anything, you can just keep it in the name. So if they don't capitalize anything, you don't have to. I would, just because a noun means importance, and you always capitalize a noun because of the importance. So our next sentence is if, that keyword, you have to have if. I am selected as your next stylist. I can promise you and your clientele will be impressed by my hair artistry skills and dedication to customer satisfaction. Remember, just being a hairstylist or just being a nail tech or just being an esthetician, you're not only dealing with, you're not only dealing with your bosses, you're dealing with clientele. So you have to reassure them, like you not only understand that you're dealing with your bosses and your coworkers as well, but your clients. So that's a little bit of reassurance. That's why I kind of like that sentence. Okay, so that was my first little paragraph right there. Do you see how it was only 2 sentences, short and sweet? They don't want you to give them a whole life story. They do not want to they don't want a huge thing. Honestly, they're going to kind of look at this, skim through it and be like, oh, okay. So your first little paragraph, I would say, is kind of like an introduction paragraph, like what you're kind of meaning to do here. If I was selected, I would rather, if I was selected, I promise you that blah, 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 just reassuring that if you got hired, what would happen? Okay, your second paragraph is a little bit more about you. So let me read the second paragraph. Although I only recently graduated from Baldwin Beauty School, I have built an impressive base of repeat clientele during my time there. So Kitty, the character Kitty, Jade Kitty I made in my head, I made her a lot like you guys. So I tried to make her like she only just graduated from Baldwin, doesn't have a lot of salon experience. So you can actually put that, you can actually put that you just graduated, and that's okay. That's fine. That means you're brand new to the industry. You just have to be able to, you just kind of want to say some reflection words on that. Why I have built an impressive base of repeat clientele during my time there. Why I like that sentence is because it's letting them know you're still, even in school, you were still worried about being a good stylist, being a good esthetician, being a good nail tech, making sure that you're trying to do repeat clientele. So that is super, super big on that. And that's why I like that sentence. The next sentence is, I have also been in a salon environment at Beautiful Paws as a receptionist. Most people I have known are receptionists or something at a salon. If you're not, that's okay. Just go more into your experience at Baldwin. You could say, at Baldwin, I did this the most. You can put some awards. At Baldwin, I won best blowout. At Baldwin, I won best this. So that would be a good area to put that in there if you have that. If not, if you have a little bit of a salon rapport, I would put that in there as well. In this paragraph, I would also, if you have, so if you have not done anything, I would just put some awards you won at Baldwin or reflection on what you did at Baldwin. Here I've also been in the salon environment at Beautiful Paws as a receptionist. With my time there, I learned what it takes to make it in the salon industry. So with my sentence, I have also been in the salon environment at Beautiful Paws, I also did another sentence to reflect on my time on Jade's time at Beautiful Paws Salon. So each little sentence, each little tidbit, you want to do a little reflection on that. So if you say, I only recently graduated from Baldwin, you want to do a little reflection of that. So for those of you who don't have any salon experience, that's fine. I definitely would not put anything along the line of, my mom's a hairstylist and I've grown up in the hairstylist business. I wouldn't do that just because, it just doesn't sound professional. I just wouldn't. So just put your experience. So whether you are a receptionist at a salon or you just graduated Baldwin, that is completely okay. Just write a little paragraph reflecting on how you would, I worked in this salon, and this salon, you could put those in there too. So the second paragraph is a little bit of kind of your experience here. And then my third tiny little paragraph, my second paragraph was about 3 sentences. As you can tell, a cover letter is not supposed to be very, very long. It's not supposed to be a biography of your life. Well, it technically would be a bibliography because you wrote it yourself. But anyway, sorry. So it's not supposed to be a bibliography of your life. Now, my third paragraph would be what I can offer to you. So I put, as a stylist, I would be delivering custom cuts, color, and style outs. The client is my priority in the chair, so listening to them is a must. Making my clients feel great about the way they look is my passion. So, whenever you're on your third paragraph, that's a little bit about like what you can bring to the table, So, as you can tell, I'm telling them as your stylist, I could do custom cut, color, and style outs. Of course, you can also do other things. If you're a perm person, you could put that. If you're a nail tech, you could just put, I do acrylics, I do manicures and pedicures. If you're an esthetician, you could do, I do seaweed wraps, waxing, and all of that. So you can personalize it to yourself. The next sentence, the client is my priority in the chair, and so is listening to them as a must. Whenever a boss hires an employee, it's not just, and especially in the service industry, it's not just about can you get along with your coworkers and your boss. It is, can you get along with the clientele? Are you going to be a hothead? Are you going to give the client what they want? Because I truly, honestly do know a stylist who they would say, I want to be platinum blonde. And the stylist would say, oh, no, honey, that wouldn't look good on your skin tone. And she would try to get out of it just because she didn't want to do it. Salons are not looking for a person like that. Whatever the client wants, they want within reason. We're going to say within reason, because if, they want to be platinum blonde and they have one AB all over their hair, within reason. But that's more about talking to your client. So, listening to them is a must. And you have to be able to tell your employer, like, I'm not only going to listen to you, I'm not only going to be a good employee, but I'm going to be a good listener to my clients and make them happy. Because guess what? If clients don't pay the business, you don't get paid. The business doesn't get paid, because if you're commission, you'll split the money. So if the client doesn't pay you because they're unhappy, the salon doesn't get paid, which makes them unhappy. So you have to let them know, I am willing to do whatever it takes for these clients. My next sentence is, making my clients feel great about the way they look is my passion. You really want to put like what you're passionate about. You can't just say my passion is color. My passion is color. My passion is haircuts. That could be true, but if you are an all-around stylist and you're just like, this salon is looking for an all-around, that means cut, color, perms, whatever they want you to do, and you're saying my passion is color, they're going to kind of look at you and be like, so you only want to do color, So it just doesn't look as professional. So that's why I put making the clients feel great about the way they look is my passion, because I am an all-around stylist, and that is what I'm looking into. So that is my Dear Miss Claus. My last little sentence is, you can reach me at, and I put Jade Kitty's phone number again, to set up an interview. Thank you. And then I put sincerely, Jade Kitty. So the reason why I redid the phone number is just because, you could even put your email right there if you wanted to. That is completely okay. I put her phone number just because I just put her phone number. So that is what I did. You want to make sure that you have any thoughts that are still in the letter. You don't want to do sincerely, Jade Kitty, and then put, you can reach me at this to find it to do an interview. I like this little sentence in here because it lets them know you are looking for an interview. I know that's not, y'all are like, well, duh, we're looking for an interview, but it lets them know you're applying to get an interview, to get a job. So that is, that's very, very important to them. And also, guys, whenever you're looking for a job, make sure you research the job. Like, honestly, make sure you research the job. If you go into a salon, you're like, oh, the salon's open, let me just apply there. Well, they might have you specialize in cutting, and you might be a colorist, or you might not just want to do cuts. Make sure that you know what you're really applying for. If you're applying for a job that is 3 towns over, are you going to be okay with driving all that time? So just make sure that you know what you're applying for, first of all. And second of all, be as professional as possible. Like I said, they will contact you more than likely through email. So Lauren said, yes, understand the job and research the salon. Yes, research the salon, because, Maximum FX is a beta. Well, if you're like, oh, I really want to use Redken color. I love Redken. Well, you can't really use Redken color in an Aveda salon. So research the salons. Make sure that you get a feeling. Even if you, one thing I would suggest is go into the salon, for estheticians, get a little facial. For Cosmos, get a little shampoo, blow dry, something cheap. For nail techs, get a little set, or just have them paint your nails or do a pedicure, a little manicure, so that way you kind of see, are the workers really happy? Is there a weird vibe there? Is this somewhere I can really work? So, I mean, it's a great idea to just go in the salon that you're looking at, get a little shampoo, blow dry, mani-pedi, a little skincare, or you could just pretend that you're buying retail just to do, you could just go in there, look around and just say, oh, I'm buying retail, just so that way you can check out the salon. So, and also if they ask, who are you, just say your real name. Don't be all secretive, like, oh, my name's Jade Kitty, whenever it's not, like, don't be secretive. Just say your name and just say, I was coming to check out the salon, because you could be checking out as a client or as a future employee. So I would say that. Brianna said, I worked for a salon and got a call to set up the first appointment. Make sure your voicemail message is also set up to be professional. Yes, Brianna, beautiful advice. That is something that's so important. I would say make sure that your also has your name and a callback number. You know how they say, like, oh, this is Jade Kitty. Sorry to not be able to get to the phone. If you would like to, I will get to you. Please leave your name and phone number, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Beep, done. It's more professional than, I'm sorry, this person has not set up their voicemail box. Please leave a message after the beep. So that's very, very, very good advice. I love seeing y'all's participation and advice on here, because some of you have gone through this and y'all know. Yes, Zuli said, make sure your voicemail is professional. Please, please do. It's just as important to have a very professional voicemail as it is to have a very professional Instagram for it and a very professional email. Oh, I hate whenever people that have the voicemail act like they answer the phone. Yes, please do not do hello. And then, because I'll start talking to you and then they'll be like, I'm sorry, I can't get to the phone. I'm like, oh my gosh. So yes. Brenna said you can also go into the salon before you apply to receive a service or just check it out. They don't mind at all normally. Yes, that is perfect. That's why I was saying, it's very, very, they do not mind at all. It's not like they're going to be like, oh, no, you can't. And usually they'll give you a little, like, if you say, I would love to come in, because guys, they're not only interviewing you, you're interviewing them as well to see if this is the place you want to call, my salon home. You are interviewing them. So don't think that, during an interview, you can't ask questions. Ask questions. So that is another thing. Annabelle said, do people still make personal voicemails? Yes, they still do. Make it as professional as possible. I am pretty bad about that because my voicemail, I don't even know what it is, and I don't even want to know. So it's okay. Miles said my current one is for me when I was 11. Hey, as long as it has your name, it's okay. So just be as professional as possible. If you called someone and they didn't pick up and you were trying to interview them for a job, maybe like a babysitter, you were trying to interview them and they were just like, yo, what's up? Probs was out last night, can't get to the phone, leave a message or don't, bye-sies. Like, are you really going to hire them to babysit your kids? Probably not. So make sure that you are being as professional as possible. And also Rihanna said I'm pretty sure she's talking about going to a salon makes you always feel less nervous in the interview. I have to yes. So always visiting a salon, like knowing where you're going beforehand and just knowing like, oh, over there's the shampoo bowls. Already visiting the salon helps them, really, really helps you just be less nervous. For my first interview with a salon, what I did, and it was crazy, it was 3 towns over, which I was okay driving the the distance. What I actually did was the day before my interview, I drove to the salon there and back. So that way I knew how much time it took. And I drove the exact time of my interview. So I was going to get there an hour before. I left an hour before I was supposed to go. I drove there and then I drove back. So that way I would know the roads and also I would know everything. So that's another little tip to help you. Just try to make you the least nervous as possible. And also I went into the salon and I kind of looked around. I didn't get a shampoo, blow dry or anything. I just was looking around pretending that I was getting retail or something. So I liked it. So Lindy said, would this process be the same for applying for a job at a salon where you rent or own a chair? No. So whenever you're renting or owning a chair, this is for commission and salary based. So whenever you're owning a salon, whenever you're owning excuse me, I'm just like, all my words are jumbled up here. I'm sorry. So you're interviewing just pretty much for that chair. They want a good stylist in their chair, but you're more interviewing for that chair than you are as being a stylist. You can have the same resume and you can have the same cover letter because technically they are your bosses and technically you want to show them that you care about your clientele, that you specialize, that you do this, this, and this. So I would use the same exact resume letters just because, it's kind of the same thing. Lauren said, my mom suggests doing what you do before the state exam because they require you 30 minutes before the exam. Yes, I require 30 minutes to an hour before an interview. Do never, ever, ever be late to an interview, ever. If it is a true emergency, call them and let them know, like, hey, I got a flat tire, or hey, my kid got sick and I don't have a babysitter. Make sure that you are that you communicate very well. So, yes. Sorry, I'm reading y'all's. Gabby said, especially now, ask questions. Ask about what steps they're taking to be safe during this pandemic, both for employees and clients. Yes, you have to ask questions that pertain to everything. So the questions I asked were, what color line did you use? How are your employees commission-based, salary? I just asked that. I was kind of hoping they would go more in depth with that, but if they would have just said commission, I would have just stopped there, so that way I knew. But she went more in depth and she was like, oh, it's commission, it's 50-50 commission. So usually they'll go what you need to know. Always, always, always ask questions. Remember, not only are they interviewing you, but you're interviewing them. So ask questions, ask for a tour of the salon if they don't give it to you. Say hi to all of the employees there. So I always thought that was good. During my interview, I was an hour early. I went to go check in at the front desk to tell them that I was there, and I saw actually that one of these stylists were struggling and she needed help. So I actually went over to the stylist, didn't know her at all, just started holding her foils up for her and, just started helping. And what's funny is my future employer just walked in, was like, hi, I thought that interview was supposed to be here. And I was like, oh, hi, I'm right here. Oh, I'm so sorry. I was just helping. And she goes, instantly I was hired. So know what is professional, and getting there an hour early helped me get the job. Just little backstory. So Mabry said, be 15 minutes early. Make sure to wash your hands and cross your legs if you're wearing a dress. And don't ever wear red. Wear subtle tones. Yes, beautiful. Serena has a good question. Should you always bring a cover letter printed? Yes, you always, always, always want to bring your resume and your cover letter printed so you can just hand it to them. Now, if they are a more, how do I put this? Like my salon that I was interviewing for, they were an all-natural salon. So I was like, I have my interview right here. If you don't want to take it, I will email it to you. So the night before, you can email them your resume just so that way they can have it, and you can bring a paper copy. You can email your resume and your cover letter. Just a way, you know, if they're a natural salon, read it. So, you know, that way you can, if they're a natural salon, just email it to them so that way, you know, they understand that you care about the environment. It's a great way. Jazzy said, don't spray too much perfume. Yes, don't. Lauren said, always ask if there's manager's fees. They can be hidden and they don't always tell you about it. Yes, ask if there's a contract, ask if there's any fees. Make sure that you're being smart about your decision. What I had in my interview with me, the night before I emailed my resume, I had a pretty like stacked resume, so I did not need a cover letter because I had over 4 different jobs. I had a lot of certificates to come with me. I had extensions. I had a lot of different certificates. So I felt like my resume didn't need a cover letter. Now, like I said, if you don't have a lot, if your resume is not padded, you can definitely do a little cover letter. It will help. It's kind of like a little miniature interview on paper. So it'll let them know what your priorities are and what they want. Destiny said, I think you should dress for your style, especially in a beauty creative setting, but not too much. Don't be too big. Yes, beautiful wording. What I did was I dressed my style, but I made sure to kind of be in, I always dress my style. So of course my 70s Woodstock style. I made sure my hair was done. I made sure my makeup was done. You know, I wore cute shoes that I could walk in for a while. And I wore a cute little dress. Make sure that you're not too stand out. I wore yellow because I don't know. The manager even asked why I wore yellow. And I said, yellow, the color yellow, I feel like helps my personality. It shows my personality. I'm bubbly and bright, just like yellow. So she liked that answer. So yeah. Don't spray too much perfume. Yes, manager fees. So some salons, unfortunately, they have contracts which state, you know, if you quit the salon, you cannot work within a 10-mile radius. Well, in Austin, a 10-mile radius is very, very, very long. So, you know, just be careful about that. In the interview, ask about any fees hidden, any contracts. You know, most salons will say, no. Like, they'll just be like, no, but it covers you. The thing that I also did with my interview was I brought my resume and paper. I emailed it to them the night before. I also brought a calendar with all of my questions written in it. So I had the exact date. I brought a calendar with everything just because I write everything in a calendar. I brought it for that reason because they always ask, when can you start? You know, and that dates just get jumbled around. You're nervous. So I just opened my little calendar. I was like, blah, blah, blah. It lets them know that you're organized, that you brought a calendar. It lets them know a lot of great things. And also I didn't have to bring a lot of stuff in there. So that's a great little tip I could say too. Yes, ask if commission is based on services or retailing too. So kind of ask a little bit about that. Remember, they're not only interviewing you, you're interviewing them. Like, I know some salons you have to sell a certain number of commission, a certain number of retail, or else, you know, you could get fired. So make sure you do that. Stacy says, if I have any upcoming trips planned, I tell them before they hire me so it doesn't look like I'm asking for days off my first week. That's a good idea. Yes, that's a very, very good idea. You could say that during the interview because they'll usually ask, or do you have anything you want to tell me, or do you have anything? So that's a very, very good. Always do good communication. Always. It is always good to have good communication between you and an employer. So Like I said, this cover letter is just for padding on your resume. If you don't have a lot of stuff, that's okay. Like I said, do not put any jobs on there that you did not end well with. So if that means, you know, a lot of your manager was a hothead and you were just like, I don't think I'm putting in my 2 weeks. I just don't think I see myself working here anymore. And your manager was a hothead and was like, blah, 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 and all mad at you. Don't put that job as your reference if you know they're not going to do something good. So make sure that if you do not have a lot of jobs, this is great padding. This is just like a little miniature interview on paper. This is kind of what they're asking. And honestly, I personally did not have a cover letter, but it's a good thing to have. Just so that way, a cover letter also, it looks very professional as well. So like we said, our resumes are only supposed to be 1 page, so you can just staple the cover letter on top to the resume. So that way they can look at both. You can email it to them the night before. So Stacy said, here's the verbiage for it. Just let you know, I do have a trip planned for the weekend in a month and a half, so I will be gone these days. That's good to always just be, just communicate with them. Kimberly Root says, I always use the cover letter as who I am and who I aspire to be. That is very, very good. Good job. Like, that's beautiful. That is exactly what a cover letter is supposed to do. So let's go back over the verbiage of the cover letter. So we have our name, very, very big, very bold. If you want to make this name bigger, you can. It looks huge to me in person, but probably to you guys, it doesn't look that big. I mean, it looks great to me in person. Not to, you know, toot my own horn or anything. So Jade Kitty, I have all of Jade's Kitty's, I have all of Jade Kitty's information, her address, her phone number, her email, and her Instagram. If you have an Instagram and a Facebook, put both of those. Right here, I have the date. Always change the date. So I would make sure that date is either the night before or the night of. Here is all of the salon you're wanting to work at interview. Some of us, like, sometimes I am a complete airhead. Like, I have driven to the wrong, like, I meant to go to Target and I drove to Walmart. Like, so make sure that you have the address that you want to go, because I could totally see myself being so nervous I drive to the wrong at Maximum FX, honestly. And they could be like, you have this one on here. And I'd be like, oh my gosh, you know, it's always a good idea. Gaddy said, practice interview answers, like, what is your strengths and weaknesses? Yes, always practice interview answers. Make sure that your hair looks good. Make sure that your makeup looks good. Make sure that, you know, you look very clean. So dress for the salon as well. If you know, my salon was very preppy, very girly. And if I walked in and I had like full, you know, just goth look, they would kind of look at me like, oh, okay, you know. So be yourself, yes, but also dress for the salon as well. Yes, also, McKenna said also practice when they say, so tell me about yourself. That is the worst to me on an interview, yes. Always have someone proofread, yes. I actually had my boyfriend proofread my cat's cover letter just to make sure because our eyes will skip some stuff. So on our cover letter, here is all of the salon's information. And also, another reason why we put this on here is because Miss Tiffany Claus, that might not be their updated phone number for the salon. And this also might not be her updated email. So she could be like, oh, I changed that. So that way, you'll both have current information on each other. So it's because it's easy for her to be like, oh, Miss Jade, it says on here that you have our old phone number. Let me give you my new phone. Let me give you the salon's new phone number. Or, oh, Jade, oh, I'm so sorry. This is my old email. Let me give you my new one. So that's also another reason why you put all this on here. So here is your letter. The first paragraph is, you know, what a huge opportunity it would be in the salon. if I'm selected as your next stylist, I can promise you and your clientele will be impressed by my hair artistry skills and dedication to customer satisfaction. That's kind of like a little mini interview question all in one. Then your next one, your next one is kind of like some information about you. Although I've recently graduated from Baldwin Beauty School, I built an impressive base of repeat clientele during my time there. I have also been in a salon environment at Beautiful Paws as a receptionist. With my time there, I have learned what it takes to be in the salon industry. And your last one, is on your strengths. So as a stylist, I would be delivering custom cut, color, and style outs. The client is my priority in the chair, and listening to them is a must. Making my clients feel great about the way they look is my passion. You can reach me at, it's just 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not a real phone number. To set up an interview, thank you. You can either put that or your email. And then sincerely, your name. Make sure you put your first and last name. Okay. That is a professional. That is a very, very professional cover letter. Like I said, we use it if our resume needs a little bit more padding, because they might not say, oh, wow. They might say, oh, wow, they don't have that much job experience, but they said they really, really enjoy making their clientele, feel great about themselves is my passion. See how that can just pad it a little bit? So Lauren said Etsy has some really cute resume cover letters to purchase. I ordered some for my sorority. They also have matching return address labels. That's a good idea, but make sure that not only your personality comes out in this, yes, but is business professional. So don't get the most girliest thing. Honestly, make sure that you have resume paper. It's thick. Don't make it too girly. Don't make it too wow, because that will distract from the actual wording on the paper. So, do you guys have any more questions about cover letters or anything like that? Chloe said, my first interview I ever had, I was interviewed by this cute guy in his early 20s, and I froze. I blanked on every single question. Worst interview of my life. Make sure you practice that interview. You're going to be super, super nervous. So, if there are no more questions, y'all can go on with final roll call. Make sure that you do first name, last name, and time. And school, sorry. Just be mindful, be very business professional. You guys know what business professional is. We only use the cover letter just for a kind of padding for a resume. So thank you guys so much for listening. Kim is on from 12 to 1. So I hope that you got the information that you needed. I hope that you have a great rest of your day, and we will see you guys from 12 to 1. Thank you.